welcome back to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now, basically I'm AspieAnswersAll, or I'm Aspie as the known for some of years that has been following me from day one. I welcome the newbies out there that has been reaching out or tried to watch some of these videos, and hopefully some of this has been informative, educational, and the like of what I am hoping to address to you all as my main goals and purpose of these videos. I would also, just to give you the lowdown, if you are new to my channel and it has just come on today just to view some of my videos, even though you may have heard it so many times before, if you have or not. But basically what I do is that I create mental health and awareness videos versus sharing my life stories with Aspergers Syndrome, OCD and the like, and also giving some tips and advice on how to manage your everyday struggles, regardless what it may be, as well as the pearls and wisdoms based on the everyday struggles that you go through, of the ones that, you know, be it relationship breakdowns or whatever else. So that's based on my pearls of wisdom and knowledge versus the experience that I have had through my training, and hopefully with this you can just cope with it. Okay, also just to give you the lowdown, if some of these videos do sound a bit repetitive or what have you, I humbly apologize, but I was trying to think of the right terminologies or how to say it to you all, so it's best for you to understand me more of a person more than just someone under these masks of diagnosis, so that you can take something of value or interest hopefully to you today in some sort, just to learn and educate yourself through me, or just anyone like me, that, you know, all autistics are different regardless what it may be. So in all for the do, guys, what I'm going to do today is basically all about coping with autism, stress and Aspergers Syndrome, or Aspergers as they put it for short for some people. It's no brainer, even though, like, many of us with Aspergers Syndrome, as I said before, with the stress one especially, we tend to basically not be able to cope in everyday situations, be it change of situation, be it, you know, we got demoted, we got laid off from work, for a classic example of a change of scenery. We may have moved to another state just to, you know, get that job or what have you, because sometimes many of us as people with Aspergers Syndrome or autism alike pretty much do tend to like to not have that change of scenery. We like to try and at least sit fit best for those bits and pieces that we are familiar with, so that we don't get too overwhelmed to the point that, you know, we tend to think that enough is enough, you know, or what have you, and we tend to start stressing by pulling out our hair and every other classic symptoms and signs that I've shared on the longer piece of what stress does to many of us, not just for us that are, you know, autistic. Despite the difficult times that we have, regardless that are stress related, that, as we know, important methods of approaching it in a way on how to manage it every day-to-day basis is different from every person. We need to know, though, there are coping mechanisms and techniques that we can put into place, how to go about it. Many people may end up, you know, if they're too stressed and overwhelmed, as I said, that they may end up having medication or something of that form of description to help with their, you know, daily living. But like I said, you know, it's okay to do that, but, you know, my uptake on it is just different on that front. But I'm going to try not to share too much of it, because I've already shared my view and uptake once before, and it hit skyrocketed, and I had a flood of response from that video that came to the part that was really harsh on me, even though, like I said, it's all about hopefully respecting our own personal opinions. And that I know that for some reason that some people may think I get under their skin or what have you, but, you know, bear with me, this is just me. I'm just trying to be as real, you know, transparent and all that to you guys of what goes down with me and the territory of what I go through, even though sometimes, you know, many people can laugh at me and poke fingers at me and that, but hey, you know, I'm trying to brush it off one day at a time, you know, even if I do hear the same thing, same old sometimes about certain things that has been thrown at me, regardless what it may be, because as I've known to people that, you know, some people may think it's all up here, that I'm crazy. I don't want to say it, but that's how many people may label me as, but then again, everyone has their everyday issues, struggles and whatever else, and sometimes it feels like that some people, they just tend to not like the way someone else is different or how they work their way around things, that many people tend to just tend to tear us down to the point where they want us to be little tiny little mites and they can stamp on us. But I'm going to be hopefully one of them and rise against it and actually keep on, so to speak. Anyway, what am I up to? As you know, I'm going to share briefly, hopefully, my story about this topic. Okay, some of it maybe, like I said, sounding similar to everyday stories I've shared already. But first and foremost, before I do that, along with the story and the tips and advice on or just how it goes, about managing my stress, I would like to try and define stress as best as I can for you all in my best interest, or shall we say, of my best way of doing it, because everybody, like I know, every definition or word that we come across have different variations of definitions based on our level of understanding and knowledge on every bit. But how I look at it is, like with stress, is like like pressure or tension exerted on a material or material object, or in this case, pressure or tension exerted on I say it as like how we word it. Actually, I'll word it properly. I'll say it again. Stress is defined as pressure or tension exerted on a material object, or in this case, how I would define it is basically a state of mental or emotional strain, or even to the point of tension resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances that may arise within that realm, that be it in the external versus the internal stimuli of us. Hopefully that makes sense. But as you guys should be well aware of now, as I've shared so many times before, I do suffer from anxiety, social anxiety and all that, and I'm getting better at it, regardless of many people may think, oh Kieran, maybe you should take some of these, this will make you feel better, let's just get on a high together, or what have you. But no, I don't believe in taking something that I don't believe to take in, because as I said before briefly, that we need to do our research and know what's the side effects and what works best for us and our time of need, regardless of our anxiety, depression and all the like that needs certain everyday managing and treating through medications. But just do it with care, so to speak, because I noticed that, as I said to myself, I don't want to be like one of my friends who I've seen is now like zombie form, and she can't speak, she's slurring in her words and all that, and it's really sad, really. But I feel that in some ways maybe she could wean them off if she wanted to, but I think now, since she's solely relying on them and dependent on them for quite some time, it's not gonna happen overnight, obviously, because seeing that breaks my heart, seeing people like that, and many people may just point the finger that, oh, they're dumb, they're stupid, but like I said, people with mental health disorders versus what I'm sharing with you all with Aspergers Syndrome and the like, basically we are still humans, we just work in our own different way of our state of mind, because obviously how we work inside our mind mentality of our mental state is different from others, and many people tend to question us why we do that in the first place, or what could have been rectified and fixed in the first place if something was supposed to be dealt with in that manner. Right. Even though that, despite of all that, of what I've shared of my anxiety, stress, social anxiety and all the like, that even though it tends to come and go with the flood of emotions or sort of things that comes with it in that territory, as well as also in that territory, provided, as I said before, about my sensory issues versus my meltdowns, depending on these everyday situations that I come to face every day, regardless what it may be, Some of it some days I'll have my good days and bad days, the other days, like many others would, so to speak, and that, sometimes also, despite all these, stress, tension, worry and all that stuff that comes in the territory of Aspergers Syndrome and every other mental health disorders that comes with it, sometimes also many people may tend to, question me on you know, how it happened, why did I act that way, why did I feel that way, and all that. But it's all a matter of just common sense, really, not just common sense, but just self-awareness on ourselves of, you know, knowing what's best for us and basically going on our everyday living on how we can go about it, of all those questions, you know, of why it happened, how it happened, where it happened, who was involved, how we're going to fix it, if it can be fixed, you know, all those questions that arises, and that is hopefully within those questions that arises we can quick, smart, solve that problem, because as I said, I'm a problem solver regardless, and hopefully sometimes now I'm trying to just let go at some things right now, and I just feel that, you know, some people may think, oh, Karen, forget about it, you know, sweep it under the carpet kind of thing. But if the same thing happens over and over again, though, of certain situations that I come to face, then yeah, that will really tend to get up my goat, and I'll tend to think, okay, now this is happening again. Why was it happening? Is there a little other hidden message that I missed, or hidden cue that I was supposed to know about, you know? But I guess everyone is different. Okay, a classic example on the way of, you know, coping with stress and autism, especially sometimes, yes, like I said, I do get under people's skin. I tend to, you know, not all the time, which I don't mean to, get into verbal disagreements or arguments with some people. And how I go about it, though, now I'm learning right now, is just to detach, walk away from that person and that situation when it gets too overwhelming for me and stressful. And hopefully by that time frame, it will give me and that particular someone a time to breathe, recollect our thoughts, and hopefully when it's a calm environment, we can actually talk it out to why it happened, how it happened, and all that, and hopefully together problem solve, especially when it comes down to, like, what I've noticed in my past relationships, that basically, you know, 9 times out of 10 it hasn't been solved, because many times I've been told I was the problem because I kept on walking away. But then I thought, well, hang on a minute, it takes two to tango, because I've been giving you the chance to open up and at least let me know if you or I are at fault, and admit that we're at fault from one bit of that acknowledgement part of the what I've learned in the way of, you know, disagreements and that, especially verbally. But sometimes at some points it has reached to boiling point, to the point where it comes to the physical, which, you know, sometimes, no, I need to find a safe home and feel calm, cool, collected, those 3 C's, and actually recuperate. But then again, you know, everyone's different, I guess. But then again, also, when it comes down to it, I just find a place to just calm down, rewind and everything, when that argument is a classical example of the verbal disagreement, argument that arose in the first place, and then hopefully, you know, do about it. But then again, with my stress level, sometimes it's depending on how busy my schedule is, or how tired I am from the night before, whatever I was doing. Basically, that can exert me to the point that, you know, I'm just working myself too hard on maybe some particular item or object that, as I said before, for us with Aspergers Syndrome or autism, some of us will just focus on solely on one thing to get it done, or on our favourite beloved subject, or just something that needs to be done, you know. Then many people might just, you know, look at us strangely about that. But then again, I guess, you know, it's just us. Sometimes also when it happens with certain things, when I now know the signs of my stress levels versus my anxiety levels, I know everything else. As I said before, when it comes down to me socialising, I'll remove myself from that situation, or remove myself from a particular social gathering if it gets too much overwhelming for me, to the point where maybe my sensory overload is kicking in, or my, you know, meltdown, depending on the situation as well as the environment I may be in, so that hopefully that I can just retreat somewhere quiet and peaceful, and basically, you know, make sure to have time out for me before others, even though now I'm trying to learn that more often now, because many people know I've been trying to be a people person, trying to be there for others. But many people have been asking me, you know, have I been looking after myself as well, because number one should come first, which I'm trying to learn now too. Another food for thought also, though, when things get too overwhelming, many people may think this is stupid of me, but I may have mentioned this before, so I humbly apologise. But when things get a bit overwhelming and stressful for me, if I had my special headset that cancel out noise, I would have them. on my head and start to just block out the noise, close my eyes for a few minutes, doing imagery, using imagery in my mindset where I am, remain calm in that 5-10 minute I give myself, and just maybe, I don't know, he's saying, find something else that is peaceful. Here's an example, like I said to you before, about my iPod dot that has those 4 different sounds of basically native sounds, be it on the beach, that I'm in the forest with those birds in the forest, beach as in waves lapping on my feet kind of sound effects, or just basically seagulls as well as at the beach, with those beach sounds. And then there's another one that's a waterfall kind of effect on one of those sound effects I had on my iPod dock, which I don't have it now in this room that I'm currently doing this video, but I'm damn annoyed with myself. I should have bought it, because like I said to myself, yes, I know I have too much but stuff in my room now, to the point that it's used for all my storage instead of a spare room to sleep in. But then another food for thought, how I calm myself down in the way of stress and stuff as well, besides using imagery and that breathing technique that many people suggested to me, is what I do is also, while I've got the headset on, basically using the imagery, if I don't have my iPod dock near me in that quiet room of mine, be it my bedroom or somewhere dark and stuff, many people may think this is odd, but I tend to put on my headset, start humming away, or burst into song, or find some sort of distraction that hopefully will just forget about what caused that stress effect. Maybe find something fun, and maybe find something amusing about why that caused me stressed at that time, and maybe it wasn't worth to be stressed or worried about that kind of particular situation. But then again, it depends on every individual here, though. It's like, for me, like I said, distractions are so important, a way to calm me down and just forget about what caused me to be in there. Sometimes I might do as a form of distraction, maybe, I don't know, many people think patterns and colours, numbers, counting, what have you, but with me, I do find it to a point when I'm stressed and need to do that can be all and truly good for me. But then again, for me also, for another form of distraction, is finding something I like to do, even if it means, baking, cooking, or even like many people hear me singing or dancing in my room thinking, oh God, what is Kieran up to in her room right now? Be it if I'm on a stressful level, sometimes I might put some loud music on, depending on my mood, if I want something really loud and heavy, or I will just put something on soft and quiet, just to the point to ease the mind effect, just to keep my mind healthy and whatnot, but then again, those are just forms of what I do, so hopefully that's a bit of an understatement or understanding of what about me. So give me the like for thumbs up for support and engagement. Feel free to comment below if there's anything that you want to add to this about how you manage and cope with stress, even though everybody's different. Challenge you autistics and neurotypicals this time, not just autistics. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, AspieAnswersAll. Feel free to also private message me on AspieAnswersAll if need be, or just private message me on YouTube. And all for the guys, thanks for your support, thanks for your encouragement right now. Do what you love what you do. Until next time, I'll see you again soon.